Here is a testimonial for the highest paid part-time job in the world from Katrina Alexander.
So I'm approaching 3 years in this academy. All of my accounts have increased trading, investments, business, and personal accounts. This academy can produce results in all areas of your life when you do the work. Yes, you have to work on your psychology and mindset to get the results.
Thanks for tuning into the video. What we're going to talk about today is a strategy used by higher net worth individuals to generate money that cannot be taxed through traditional tax methods. And what I want you to take from this is the importance of assets and having ownership of assets, making sure that your assets maintain a value, and then understanding how to leverage those assets to put yourself in the best position to be successful. Because that is a skill. So understanding how to leverage the assets that you have to get what you want to get out of the world is a skill. And so what we're going to talk about is the concept of buy, borrow, die. And this concept was phrased by a professor, I want to say maybe 10, 15 years ago, who wanted to explain what higher net worth individuals are doing so they can avoid paying capital gains taxes. So let me give you a reference point, because this is something that can be done by lower net worth or lower income individuals, and they may not even know it. If you've ever heard of something called a car title loan, what you do is you find a car title loan establishment in your area. You take your car to them. They make sure that you have a title. They verify that your title is valid. They examine your car and they put a value on your car. Then what they do now is they can offer you less than the value of your car in cash. You exchange that for the title of your car, and they hold your title until you pay the loan back. If you don't pay the loan back, they have your title and they go and repo your car. So now they have ownership of that asset, and that's all going to be in your contract to receive the money. Therefore, you're able to leverage your asset to generate a form of money, but it's really a loan, but the money is going to really be part of the loan, using your asset as collateral against the loan. Now we take this to where higher net worth individuals do something very similar. Let's say you have land in Texas or maybe Wyoming, and it has oil in there. So the land has a value, and then the oil under the land also has a value. What you can do now is go to a financial institution, and you can ask them for a loan from the value of the land. Because the land has a value and the oil under the land also has a value. So the land has a value now. And you can say, hey, I want to get a loan off the value of my land. You don't have to necessarily sell the land to generate money. And this is something a lot of people may not be exposed to. Let me give another example. This is something that's done by CEOs all the time. Let's say you get awarded X amount of shares of stock because you represent a company now. Let's say you're the CFO. You may not even be the CEO. Let's say you're the CTO, the Chief Technology Officer, and they give you X amount of shares of stock. You can create an arrangement with a financial institution to get a loan from the shares of the stock, because the stock is the asset. And then therefore you can pay that loan back, but you don't have to sell the stock to get money for you to live, pay your bills, handle your situations. And then therefore they can't tax you, because why? There's not going to be any capital gains. There's not going to be any considered income off the sale of the stock, because why? You never sold the stock. You just took a loan against the value of the stock. Now, often you're going to find that these type of relationships come from a person having access to a private bank. And private banks are going to often be for higher net worth individuals. In fact, some private banks make it a requirement that you have to have $1 million liquid net worth before they even entertain. And then what the private bank will do is give you an individual banker for you to work with to make sure that you're hitting your financial goals and you're getting the things that you desire out of the relationship. You'll see some banks have a commercial and a private banking side. And there's also banks that are just 100% private that you may not be aware of because they don't really advertise like that, because they're not involved in the commercial side of banking. And because higher net worth individuals have access to these private banks, they're able to create these type of relationships where they can generate a loan off their assets, use that loan to do what they need to do, and never lose control of the asset. Where the average person may think, well, I need money. What do I have to do? I have to sell the asset. And that's how they get approached. You got some land somewhere and you're in a money crunch and somebody says, hey, well, sell the asset. Because you're not being offered the ability to get a loan off the value of the asset. You're just being told sell the asset. And if you don't notice, then you don't understand how to leverage the situation. So this is why understanding how to navigate the financial world, understanding how markets actually function is a skill. And then therefore, when you get put into a position, you don't do something that's negative to your position because you have the skills to apply these things properly. Hope you got some value from it. We're talking about buy, borrow, die. David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave. I'll talk to you later.